plaque is there no other historical mention, yet the new webpage says it gives all the history of the town. I didn't know that was there. That would be found out at the Autry Park and at Asti Park, maybe Grasso to a lesser extent. But last time I saw Autry Park, it had quite a set of plaques along the bike path. Well, Larry, I need to get with you to look at the caption for Founders Park and also to discuss the part of the railway. One article you read said it was on the south end of 3rd Street, but I understood 3rd to end at Charles and Coal Creek, where my grandparents lived at that corner. Did 3rd go beyond Coal Creek after you crossed the creek?
You mean the railroad? Because the railroad went along the south side of Coal Creek, on to Marshall and on to Boulder, so.
Yes, 3rd Street went all the way down to the railroad.
Yeah. So, her grandparents' house is on the north side of Coal Creek.
Well, I'm wondering if you mean the north end of 3rd, which would make sense to me. Because if you keep going south from my grandparents' place after you cross the creek, about a mile south of there, you're going to start hitting the old industrial mine and the coal camp. I didn't know the railway went in that direction for passengers.
It did.
According to my notes, it was up here on the north end.
Okay.
Well, it's the same track that was used for freight and passenger and interurban.
Right.
And,
President Eisenhower brought his bride out here to tour El Dorado Springs and honeymoon
yeah,
on that
and
railroad.
interurban, yeah. That was the spur over to El Dorado Springs.
Well, those are the fine points you and I need to work on, Larry. I think I have almost everything for Asti Park, except the dates when the public schools were open and were located there. I believe Mary Cartwright has that data. I did read in your article about Ted Asti that he was mayor for a total of 32 years, just not consecutive. So I'll put that in the photo.
The reference to Mary, I think probably that Ann Denny book on the schools of Boulder County.
Yeah, it's not my knowledge. That book is at the museum, right?
Yes. And then, what was the second thing she said? I'm sorry.
Well,
Ted Asti.
Oh, Ted Asti, yeah. Well, that's correct. I don't know what else to say about that. That is what we've all been told before, is that he did 32 years, but that was over a number of segments over
Yeah.
the years. But I think the school information is in a book written by author, local historian Ann Denny, about the Boulder Valley School Districts, and otherwise there's not a lot of information available on school districts, because I don't need to tell her this, because your finger might wear out, but
Oh, Lost Superior? I'm just starting to look over the book.
okay, yeah.
I think Mary donated that book or something
Yeah,
like that, so that's why
the name
Mary is the link to that. Well, then I guess I didn't want to let just not having the time to work on this like I should, and we will, once I
Find
get settled
some time.
down, we'll get it worked out for sure, get the details worked out. Between me and the rest of you, this move is just.
Oh, please
wore me
do
down.
that. Yes, it won't take long.
That's right.
I do want to make mention of the memorial to the miner who was killed out at the Monarch. I believe there's a plaque at the Autry Park about him, and you did an article on it. I'm
Oh, I see
sure
what
I
you're
can
saying.
keep it brief, but it should be mentioned. That's the best part about the Autry Park. It covers everything from William Hague settling here right up to the explosion at the Monarch. So 1860 to about 1936. I can say all that in the photo caption of the Autry Park.
Okay, but the monument is actually over near Flatiron Crossing parking lot, so it's not at a, it's kind of downstream, I guess I'd call it, from, down the trail from Autry Park, so technically, I guess that's not even in, is that in the city of
No.
Superior? I don't think so. So,
Well, we'll clarify.
okay. So anything else? So, thank you for participation.
Oh, you're welcome, Mary. I've learned a lot coming to these meetings and researching the upgrade of the website. I never realized the industrial mine was so close to my grandparents' home. My grandfather probably walked to work every day, but everybody walked in those days.
That's true. All right, thanks again, Paul and Maureen, and Ross, you're up.
Okay, well, I just wanted to check in with you all about this 18th century or 19th century woodwright shop demonstration. I'll pass this around for you to see the mock-up of a flyer that I'm going to put out. And
So you're going to do it from, what are the hours you're going to do it?
well, we can start setting up about 8 o'clock in the morning. It'll take an hour to set it up.
Excuse me, so you're looking at what, 9 to 3 or something like that?
I
10 to 2
I
on.
put in 10 to 2.
Oh, okay.
We're actually having a house concert in my backyard later that day, and I need to get home and help my wife get all that set up, and you're all invited.
All right.
Steve Clark, this guy, is a musician, and he's Tim DeShirley's partner in the woodwright shop. Steve actually harvests timber on his farm in Illinois and cuts it in his own sawmill. That one's still not perfected. It prints upside down on the other side. But this is just an example of the kind of furniture that they make. And anyway, Steve is a fantastic banjo picker and guitar player and singer. And he's going to perform in my backyard later that evening. And we're going to have a lot of food and fun for all, so please come.
Well, we're planning on opening during that time, and May is Historic Preservation Month, and so
That's
Fulton
right.
County puts out a little brochure of all the things going on in the county. Having to do with
Oh,
historic
that would be
preservation, and I got it in there, so.
Great.
So I got in the spring walk and the woodworking event, they're both in there.
And
Sure.
how do I get in touch with the chamber?
Chamber of Commerce?
Yes.
Over to you.
Yeah,
You gonna send me that info?
Yeah, I can send you their number. It's online or,
And you know they're just right, they're in that, right over there.
They're in the
No,
little
house.
bungalow.
Oh,
That's
across
is
the
there
park.
somebody there all the time?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, all right, once I get these brochures printed, I'll pass them out over there.
Yeah, that'd be a good connection, I think, yeah.
And I wanted to get in touch with the local Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, if there are Girl Scouts around here. So I'm just, brainstorming for where all to publicize it. I think children and adults alike will enjoy this event.
For sure.
Maybe it's in your brochure, but where in Illinois are they from?
Effingham,
Okay.
it's, I don't know how to.
It's Southern Illinois,
It's like
from Illinois.
straight north of St. Louis.
Yes.
Oh,
Till you
about
get to
about-
Illinois, and it's a
Hour and a half.
crossroads
Oh, okay.
on the interstates. But this farm, Steve Clark is the fourth generation to carry on the farm and the wood harvesting very selectively. And his partner, Tim DeCharlia, is the one that actually has the mobile woodwright shop. So they'll be
Well,
coming
it's
out.
on our agenda that we will come up with our game plan, so we'll have something open at the same time. And as I mentioned
Great.
before, we'll probably break out some of our tool collection and have that on a table or something. And
Great.
so, and also I passed out this thing I just got yesterday, I guess, from Ross about,
Finally.
yeah, oh, this is terrific, Ross, on the anti-care. How'd I do?
Right. It's pronounced care.
And
Scottish.
And he also sent a bunch of other documents, and so we'll work at getting this part of the collection and have Alan make up some demonstration go along with the sewing machine. And so this is terrific information. This would also be good for those kids to hear about, with the youths.
Oh, yeah.
They find out that other people live with each other, relatives took care of each other, and invested an entire $70 for the sewing machine, which took time payments to get her paid off. That's great.
Yeah.
So, I think
Well,
we're in.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Ross.
I need to get back to my shop.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
Do you have a location for your tent?
Well, I thought we'd set it just on the east side of the museum there.
Yeah, I have to get with Matt Rarick just to make sure, like, there's no irrigation there and there's no problem putting.
Yeah, we don't want to drive a stake through an
Yeah.
irrigation line.
Yeah, so I'll get with Matt Rarick on that.
That would be very
It's
embarrassing.
going to be close to the museum, though, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, right next to it.
Okay, great. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Thanks, Ross.
it's nice to see you all.
Thanks,
You
Ross.
betcha.
See you, Ross. Have a good day.
Okay, so down to the discussion items. Treasurer's report, I guess Lydia's gonna do both of them, I guess, huh?
Yeah, so for the Historic Commission donations, as of today, there's $649.50. And the Historic Preservation, you guys have $4,432.24.
You have that much money?
Yeah.
You do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Museum opening on April 6th. When I left, I think we'd had 3 visitors. We got some more afterwards, is that right?
Yeah, Avery and her mother and her sister came, and the school desk was not upstairs, so we brought it upstairs for her to sit in. And by the way, Avery now says she would like to be a volunteer on this Superior with us, the
All right.
museum openings, and when she's old enough.
When she's-
And so she's already volunteering at the age of 6.
She's really
And
serious
who else
about
came?
this. It's not just a whim.
Danny's sister.
Danny's.
Oh, yeah, Danny's.
sister.
Yeah, Danny's
Betty?
sister came, and her husband. And as they couldn't stay long because they had another place they had to be right away, but on the way out the door, she said to me, "We are so appreciative of everything that the Historical Commission is doing to preserve this stuff." Anyway, they were very complimentary to us as they went out the door. And I had before I knew who she was, I blurted out that we were trying to get the old school building as one of our museums someday. So I guess it didn't hurt to let her know we still would like that. I don't know how feasible that is anymore, but at any rate, I blurted that out without knowing who she was.
Maybe it'll help.
Yeah.
Okay, then Anne Fram, I don't think anybody went to Anne Fram.
I never
didn't.
had any information about it, did you?
Yeah, Sharon's been sending out that information like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, and
Yeah,
so
so.
without a reminder close to the event, so
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I should tell her that you're not getting it then too.
Yeah, I need to.
Well, Karen went to the March 21st roundtable, didn't she?
Yes, I did. I went for a couple reasons, but one was to get Larry, make sure they knew Larry was nominated for a Square Nail Award, as Mary and I had put him in for that. And it's a good thing I went because they didn't mention it in the meeting. And so I had to send an email, or I had to go up and talk to Wendy Hall, and it turns out she had had so many emails coming in on some job openings she had at the library that she had missed our nomination. So it's a good thing I was there and went up and talked to her, and she was very apologetic and made sure that Larry's nomination got in, and they unanimously approved his Square Nail Award.
Congratulations.
Larry the Clown.
I think Robert Mueller is now available. I'm going to conduct a full-scale investigation into this and find out how it happened. But I know the prime movers here were Katie and Mary and Karen, and thanks so much, because this is a pretty special deal. So, is that on the agenda about the event?
Yes,
Okay, I thought so.
it's down here somewhere, or at least it was.
I
New
think it is,
business.
yeah.
Yes,
So,
number 2, under new.
okay, good, thank you. Okay, so, yeah, I'm flattered and humbled and all that sort of thing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the diorama got delivered in good fashion. I was pretty nervous about it, but Ron, the creator, and Matt Rarick were not. So we just kind of did what looked right. And so we were able to. Matt Rarick and I drove down to Arvada, and the three of us got it on and drove back at about 20, 25 miles an hour with the flashing light flashing. So everything went well, and it's installed, and then on April 6th, we did some jockeying, and so I think it's put it, instead of on the left side of the window, put it on the right side of the window, so we have 2 windows that provide light. Otherwise, we're probably going to have to come up with a way to get some lighting on it, better lighting on it. So if you haven't seen it, I hope everyone agrees, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it was a job well done, all the way around.
And, okay, so number 2, there was no cataloging or filing activity.
Larry, can we go back for just a second?
Sure.
To
Did I miss
the
something?
round table?
Oh.
Did you go yesterday?
Yes, I went yesterday, I'm sorry, I went yesterday to the round table. It's just all planning for the event.
Oh, okay.
For the number 2 under new business, the award ceremony at Chautauqua. And
Okay.
what we do, well, we'll take it down there, so that was the subject.
Thank you.
You bet. Jill and Mary, anything new on the oral history video?
Well, I did have, Jill, you're the main mover. Have you done anything there?
Yeah, I have the proofs in enough to get it going, and we'll be revising the draft in the next couple days. The goal, we may not want this in the minutes, is to have the photo, a sample set of photos loaded. I know they're going to need editing, set against the script, so we can just get a prototype of what it looks like and bring that to the museum at the May opening.
All right. Very good, and we may have to do some more fact checking, I think, too, but,
At this stage, I need someone to take that on.
okay.
But what I'm going to do, Mary and I talked about it. We had a good visit when she dropped her script off, and I'm going to use some generic phrases.
Oh, okay.
In approximately 1870s, in the early 1870s, to bridge that for now.
Okay.
Because some of the things, well, they were, my sources were Law Superior and the Superior Historian. So there would be a series of changes to Cascade. So we need to take it on for now to keep this moving. I'm going to go generic
Good idea.
on a lot of,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I've been doing lately, too, so.
Yeah, it just, otherwise we'll be having this discussion in 10 years. I'm afraid, so that's the goal.
Very good.
Yep, all right. Cross
Thank
your
you.
fingers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yep.
Thanks for all your work on
Thank
it.
you, Mary, for the good ideas, because if we hadn't brainstormed it that day on the fly, I think I would still be spinning.
That was fun, thank you. Besides, I got to hold your cat.
That's right. That's right.
What's your,
Anytime.
anything new in correspondence?
Bob Morgan called me and wanted me to make sure that I thanked everybody for the card that we sent to him after the last meeting. It really bothers him not to be able to be here all the time, but he was very appreciative of the card. And as far as correspondence required, Wally and I were over visiting with Danny when he gave us that saw, that two-person saw. So I think we need a thank you to him. He keeps saying, "No, you don't have to thank me," but I think we should. So,
Yeah, I think that's
so I'll get a thank you out for the saw that Danny gave us.
a good idea. Yeah, and Bob called Wally Gorski's yesterday, and I called Bob this morning, and then he says for some reason when he gets up in the morning, his legs are real weak, and he can't stand it
Yeah,
well, and that sort of thing. I guess it gets better as the day goes on, but
yeah, that's what he's telling us. He's getting better, but it's kind of a slow process. Too bad.
yeah, so I was looking ahead. I doubt he's going to be here on the 4th of May for the walk either, so.
Yeah, probably not, but he said he kind of goes day by day to see how he feels.
Okay, thank you. So cemetery restoration project.
So it does say Brian, but obviously Brian's not here, so
Yes, I noticed that.
I'll update everyone. I'm not sure if the entire group is aware that Brian is actually presenting at the town board meeting on Monday. I know Larry, I believe he's spoken with you about being in attendance.
Yeah.
For that. So he's going to present what the temporary working group has suggested as far as moving forward to the Board of Trustees. And then we're hoping that it will be an overwhelming approval and we'll move forward and go out to bid to get the project, the actual work happening. So that'll be on Monday night at the town board meeting.
What point in the agenda is going to be? Is it gonna
So the agenda is out and I can look up to see where it
time-wise,
is. Yeah. Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
You do have a copy of the agenda?
Yeah, I just haven't opened it yet.
Okay, yeah.
That's the April 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so no information for us then today. It's just
Just, yeah, it's all the same information that Karen read from the minutes from last time that Brian gave you in that update. So he's
Yep.
just giving that information to the Board of Trustees. And then we'll move from there.
Okay. Guess I better get back, look at my calendar again, huh? Okay, thanks, Katie, on the photos.
No update right now. I'm just gonna, email with the chamber, with TJ soon, and probably include you, Karen, on just next steps. 4th of July, I think, is when we'll kind of like kick this thing off, so we have a little bit. So probably at the next meeting, if you guys could keep it on we could do new business or whatever, however you want to do it. So I'll have an update at the next meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing. Oh, and actually, TJ at the chamber, they already approved. So the last update was that we met with him and he was excited to partner with us, and they actually already approved the money for theirs. So that's exciting.
Okay. Great.
Have one. But that's it. And I guess we need to start thinking about if we have a 4th of July, are we gonna have always have the booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the more reason to have a booth is we'll have flyers and stuff like that, so,
Righto.
yeah.
Well, Lydia and Karen, what about, where are we on this Shan trail naming thing?
Yeah, so I don't think there's any movement as of right now. All the information's been given to the committees, and then they'll make a recommendation from there, the OSAC
So
committee.
we gave those actual names,
Yeah.
suggested names.
That long list of about a dozen. Yeah, okay.
Oh, we just gave a bunch of it? We gave the whole list to them?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I believe
I
Brian
think we
said.
did, but I thought we were going to discuss today if we had some that were like a higher priority to us. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I remember that.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks, Mary.
So maybe we still need to discuss do you have the list with you?
I don't.
I do. It's a very
great.
amazing
Thank you.
list. Scribbled on the back last time. Okay, here's what they were. The Denzel Ackland Morgan, Red Hawk, Hague Homestead, Colorado and Southern, Interurban, Josephine Roach, Industrial Mine Camp, Kite Route Trail, and Industrial Trail.
Okay. We want to add some emphasis to Ackland Morgan as being kind of our first choice.
I think that's what Brian was saying too.
That would be my first choice.
I think it should be. That's merely a suggestion, but I think it should be.
Yeah, I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah,
So does
Karen,
Brian,
I
yeah.
know everybody, I agree too.
Okay, Jill.
And I guess I guess we'll just have to communicate with that committee if they want, so like the new parks have like new names, like Wildflower, no, what is that park name?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
It was something, so like those kind of have like new, Purple Park, not that that's new, but
Contemporary.
that space is kind of in between old and new, right? So we'll want to get feedback from them that we still can provide kind of like a newer name. If they say we really don't want to do the historic name, we could still do the Kite Route or, like some industrial, but not have it be a name, because all of the ones down here, right, are named after people. So that's all. I just need to continue to, hopefully they'll allow us to give more feedback too, or I don't know.
Well, in
I don't know how
that
to-
context, Sean Samuelson from the committee emails me every once in a while to see what's going on, and he sent me an email the other day, had a map on it, and I wondered if the trailhead would interfere with any historic structures or sites or anything like that. And so I'm gonna meet him around 12 noon to kind of show him what's important and see if it falls into that area.
And is he the head of the?
No, he's on the
He's
committee.
on the committee. yeah.
Okay, but you could also communicate to
And-
him about these names and that we would love to continue to be a part of the discussion?
And anybody else who wants to stick around and do that, and one other person from the committee there. So kind of does determine where the limits are gonna be, so based on what I can tell on the map, I don't see it's gonna be damage, anything historical, but that map was pretty difficult to look at.
And the hope is that is there gonna be like a nice area that we can put information to, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, is it gonna be one of those, like a trailhead that
So,
you
yeah,
stop and there's a map and
Yeah,
there's?
nothing's been finalized, but all
Okay.
of that has been discussed.
Okay.
I've heard him talk all kinds of different
Okay.
things, but nothing has been
Because it'd be
finalized.
great to
Yeah.
have, if we go kind of the historical route, have these there,
Mhm.
and have even graphics of like that area with the old, the old mine there and stuff.
And is the parking lot, you're gonna pull off of McCaslin and into the parking lot? Is that
I believe so, yes.
Yes,
according to preliminary plans?
right. And just like Karen said, nothing's been finalized. They still have to talk over names and logistics and all that.
Yeah. It doesn't look too handy, but I know they're trying to relieve the pressure on Third and Depot, so. They're still, okay. No, don't do anything on number 8, I guess. I've sent out number 9, I sent out an email to Melissa this morning to see about getting a email plug out for the program next Wednesday night. I can't believe it. It's coming up already.
Can I ask about number 8?
Yeah.
I know Lindsay's
I
gone,
have
but,
something to say here, even if Lindsay isn't here.
okay.
Okay.
Is that okay if she goes?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I read Lindsay's list and I noticed there was nothing about your digital data bank. Are you still on Windows 7 Professional and Office Suite 2010?
Personally?
No, down on the,
I'm not sure.
is she talking about home computer or the museum computer?
Museum XP.
Well, are you aware that Microsoft will no longer support Windows 7 effective January 1st? I wondered if you were aware you need to migrate to Windows 10.
I have Windows 10, personally. I don't know about.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew. Larry, last time I looked, it was Windows 7. I understand that you might be able to buy support, but it would be a pricey subscription.
So she's talking about the museum.
So I thought it
computer.
should be on the long-term planning to migrate the database to Windows 10.
Lydia, could you check with,
I'll check with Brian.
with who?
Brian and Nadine.
Nadine, that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. The museum computer is not on Windows 10.
And I was just gonna ask, I know Lindsay was working on possibly doing the rooftop drop. Did she talk to you about? No, okay. She had asked me the date and I told her the date was April 15th. She was gonna maybe put these things in there. And I asked her to contact Brian and you about getting in touch
I
with.
don't remember that anyway, Kate.
It would have just been in the last week, so. So we didn't get the rooftop drop thing done, I'm assuming, if you didn't know about it. So,
I think that's right.
okay.
Okay. What was the date on it?
Yeah, like April 15th is when it needed to be done. So,
Wednesday night program, so Mary?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Maureen's gonna be there.
Okay, good.
Do you need help with it?
Huh?
Do you need help,
Oh,
like setting up, or?
yeah, usually our efficient town staff and all has it set up.
Okay.
You gonna be around that?
Yes,
Lydia?
I'll-
'Cause,
yeah.
she'll
I'll probably
be-
stay for the whole program.
Okay, good. She's gonna use the computer and projector, of course. Like that, bring it on the flash drive.
Her other name is ETF, Efficient Town Staff.
I don't know.
I think that you'll like introduce her and,
Someone.
I would-
committee will-
I would think it would be really important if we could announce that we have openings on our commission. I mean, this is like the most, we're speaking to the choir, and if you can just say, we're looking for commission members and volunteers. And we could just contact me, or, whatever, we could have the little flyer in the back or something. I just think it's really important to not forget to mention that to these people. Or people that they know, right? I mean, I know a lot of people come from like Lafayette and Louisville, but maybe they would know someone, so.
And on May 4th, when we get so many more people, again, push it.
Yeah, and normally we set out the chairs, and then we have in the past had some cookies and drink and stuff like that our efficient town staff oftentimes would go to Target or.
I hear you, Larry.
Just a reminder.
But, you don't have, Lydia, we can do it too, so.
No, it's,
You have the credit card, that helps.
the honorarium you want to, for our speaker.
Thanks, Mary. So I meant to do this last meeting and forgot somehow. But whether we should give her an honorarium, I asked her about it. She said that it's not required, but they would appreciate donation to the museum. So if someone would like to make a motion.
Donations to our museum, to
No,
what?
to the Museum of Colorado Women's History Museum.
Oh, okay.
Complete title is. The trouble is that we only have a few days to get it ready. I don't know if we can get it ready by then. A check or whatever, so. So I would like to suggest either $50 or $100. So get that out to you folks. I'll make a motion to one of those amounts.
Isn't 50 closer to what we've done before? Because
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Waiting for a motion.
You need to make a motion.
Do I have to make another one?
She's still
Okay.
thinking, I know it.
Yeah, I move that we create an honorarium to the women's, of $50.
Did you get that?
In appreciation for Alexis coming to.
And will
her
it be,
presentation.
just to clarify, will it be to the Hall of Fame or to her? What are you guys doing? She works for the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
So but is it personally for her? What have you guys done in the past? Where they work or?
In the past, well, a lot of times we just give it straight to the person because they're usually not affiliated with anything. In this case, I'm gonna check what she wrote, but, in this case, she was suggesting, I think, to go to the museum. And I know that's what I do with the Railroad Museum.
Didn't we have or doesn't the town have a policy that the Historical Commission does not do donations to other organizations, but it goes directly to a person? It seems like that has come up in the past. We don't really give donations to any of the other ANFRAM
I
organizations.
think that came up once when it was Broomfield, and it was actually another community, another town.
Oh, yeah.
But this is this isn't a town, it isn't a city.
Yeah, okay, I'm not,
Yeah, I think that's right, that
I just don't remember for sure what it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
museum was owned by the town of Broomfield, the city of Broomfield, city
Yeah.
and county of Broomfield, yeah. Here's what she said: we do not require an honorarium, but do appreciate donations. So,
So do you want the check made out to the museum or to Alexis?
I think it's simpler to do it to the museum.
Okay.
If you can't get it cut, we'll send her a card
Oh, as a
anyways,
thank you.
right? So if it can't
Well,
get
that's a
done
good
by
idea,
next
yeah.
Wednesday.
Mhm.
We
I think
should
we-
be able to.
Okay.
Thinking, okay, great. Oh,
I second it.
Oh, that's right. Any discussion? Moved and seconded to donate $50 to the Women's Hall of Fame Museum.
And then are you also gonna talk about the walk? You like go through kind of the events we're having? Will you
Mhm.
talk about that next Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
The walk and
Yeah.
whatever else?
Well, let's talk about that. I don't have to be the MC either, so any of you could do that as well. Katie could do it.
You're really
Mary
good. I
could do
just
it.
will prep something for you. No, I think you should talk.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, just to mention those few things. If you want me to get up, I can.
Mhm.
Or like.
I don't want to be the MC. Hold on, I'm not going to be the MC.
I'll be here all week.
If you,
Let's do
want me to
let's just
announce
start this
things,
on
I
Saturday.
can. Just most important is talking about looking for commission members and the walk and the Woodwright thing. Really, that's it, right, coming up. I mean, those are the big things. And the diorama to come visit.
Now, I'm going to use that as a segue to say that, I was going to mention a little later, but since it's come up a couple times now, Brian received an email from Vicki Kuffner within the last few days, and I got copied. And remember, Vicki Kuffner was on the commission for a couple of years, maybe at least a year, and had to resign, and is now interested in coming back. And so,
That'd be great.
yeah, so, so Brian told her to put in the application, what have you, but, so if she should apply and be appointed, that would take care of our vacancy. We could still mention that we'd like to have people coming to the meetings and come volunteer anyway, yeah, so.
Yeah, and I think it's still close enough that it's important to say we're still looking for someone.
And it hasn't
Do a hard push, because because it also brings other people out that if they really are interested, we can say, well, we'll have a position that might come available, at this point. I think we need several people.
And for us, really, our volunteers have as much input, et cetera, so the only thing they don't have is a vote, but we listen to them, so, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just the same.
Yeah, so the volunteer or the commission opening, the walk, diorama, or the woodworking.
I mean, if you want to mention that, but that's not.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So, speaking of woodworking, next item on the agenda is how we want to approach this thing. You heard what Ross had to say, and so we'll just have it open, and looks like kind of the 10 to 3 for us too then, huh?
10 to 2, I think he said.
Oh, okay, I thought someone said that. Oh, sure said 10 to 3.
10 to 2.
Okay. 10 to 2 sounds good to me. So, let's see, what's that, the third Saturday?
Yes.
Who's available for that?
Oh, it should be. At least, half of the time.
I'm not
You're
available.
it,
for
you're it,
that
Mary.
one.
No. Just kidding. Wally's? And Larry, okay. Okay, we'll work that out as we go along, I think. this around. This is the draft, and others have put some input into it. Is that redundant, input into it? And what happened is I sent out an email afterwards, so I did the text, and then sometime later, like 6 weeks probably, I did the captions, and so there's a lot of redundancy in here, and so I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think that Melissa was, Melissa's fault, if that's the right word. So, feel free to edit away. There's nothing, it's not sacred at this point. So that's what it looks like so far. And what are your reactions other than the need for some cleanup on corrections?
Love the format and all.
You like the
It's
format?
great, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's very good. I think we need this particularly during the second grade field trips, more for the adults than, because they're always asking, oh, where is it?
Yeah. And we get the same question at the museum when they're open there, and then,
Yes.
like I said, I think I said, it's good to have these on the counter here at the receptionist desk too, so.
I have some feedback.
Yeah, go ahead.
Very surprised. We're missing a photo, the classic photo of looking up the hill with the mine houses. And I think that's really important because people can see, you can actually see where they were. So is it gonna be like this? Is it gonna be like this? Do we have the back side?
Apparently we do. I didn't realize that's what it was. Do you have it?
I didn't, I know Kevin handed it to you.
Yeah, and I thought,
That there's a back side?
and he and I both thought it must have been a mistake, so I think he might have taken it back to the copy machine or something.
But I think it's good. I think one thing I would say is that for people that don't want to read a lot, I think we need to do a few bullet points and a few, just to break things up so it can be read easily. So I don't know if I should give the feedback right to Melissa, but like we go through like the other buildings in this area. I think it'd be neat to say buildings in this area, and then kind of just do a bunch of dashes.
Yeah.
This is just a lot. I've worked on brochures and like marketing things like this, and it's just all text. This is just all text, and
Yeah, and that's
it
why
breaks.
I
People
even
just need
suggested
to
you
have
cut
a
out the
breakup.
captions. I don't know.
I mean, I think the captions could be smaller, but if some of this could be, especially the things about what was on the site, we could say something like, buildings on site, and then you could do a dash, 23 houses, bachelor, boarding house, fan house, casino. And I know that you do talk about like where they could relax and play cards, but I think somewhere on one of these pages, it probably needs to be a few dashes instead of just all paragraphs. And there's no map. And that's huge. People just want to be able to, and once again, I know they're great,
Yes, I-
great walking directions, but from someone who doesn't want to just read all of it, like young people, you've got to have a map that shows what the to say Second and Cole, like you don't know where and I get that you're like walking with it, but still I think we're really missing out if we don't have a map of the area. So my biggest things would be including the photo of the hill. So same thing, they're walking that way, and there's like a photo of the houses and the mine, and then a map, I think, would be really important for people. I think we're gonna lose, some people love all this text and they're gonna read it all,
Yeah,
but a lot of
people like
people,
us, that's right.
you need to do some text and some
No.
graphic. But I love it. I'm so glad we're doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like those suggestions.
I like it.
I do like that one photo of the mine camp because it gives a good shot of how the condition and so forth.
Yes.
I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. Okay.
And maybe if you have more and I like this one because you're like talking about being at Third and Depot, but it's just an opportunity. I mean, if we can add another photo, that would be really cool so people can see.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
they can actually take this home with them too, and it's like a historical brochure. It's not just a walking and they toss it, you know, we want it to be like, wow, look at these cool old photos of the area too, you know?
Well, excuse me, I could send you that in Word, if you wanted to do some editing on it.
I mean, I can just talk to Melissa about it, I guess. Whatever,
A lot of times I just sit there with Melissa and she just
yeah.
plays around with things while we're sitting together, so that's a possibility, but if you wanted to actually,
No, I mean, I
Editing.
think that, I really think the text is all great, just, my biggest thing would just be doing, at least one of these needs to have some bullet points. So I can just email with her.
Yeah, so I just talked to Melissa, and she says it is only one single-sided, so you can add anything and everything, and make
Okay.
changes, or however you would like it to be. It just needs to, Melissa will take care of it. So I think that's a great suggestion for Katie to just kind of
yeah.
Sure, I can.
do that.
the
That would be
map.
awesome.
And another photo on the web.
And you guys have all these old photos too?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, they're on the town.
because we got them from, okay. sounds
Hard
great.
drive, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. I think it's gonna be great though. I just don't want to it's like so great, I don't want to miss anything, you know?
Well, I think the map especially is a good idea, and that's just what I was saying in that email I sent back out to everybody, you know, that, I have a tendency to write too much on these things. It goes too for their interpretive signs I've done, so streamline it is good. Okay, thank you. Any other old business? Okay, under new business, historic walk. So we'll just do the usual routine of opening the museum at 10 a.m. and then closing it at 2 and start hoofing it. So, excuse me. So over to Lydia, in the past, Brian's done got a little handout and just changed the date on it to.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll
2019.
promote it, e-blast it, put it.
Yeah, it's in the red guide.
Yeah, very good. So, in the past, Molly and Bob and I put out the stakes designating the locations, and that doesn't have to be a guy thing, if anybody else wants to go along for that. On Friday, otherwise we usually set Friday at 10 o'clock, I think, to set them out. And it's helpful to have 2 people at least, because there's so many stakes.
So who's gonna talk are you gonna talk, so who's gonna talk?
Why are you,
Bob's not there.
why are you doing that?
Just thinking, I
You're
mean,
gonna talk.
probably Bob's not gonna be there, right?
I don't think we can count on Bob at this point, no. So,
I'm not doubting you, just
No.
asking.
I got it. No, I'm fine with that. And anybody else who wants to, would rather, and feels comfortable with it, that's okay too.
This year because,
Larry, I'm not available to do it. I wish I was. But if anyone's taking it on, I do have the recordings Lindsay made of Bob doing the talks. They're
Oh.
hard to hear, but you can get a pretty good gist of some of his anecdotes and different things. So,
Mhm.
I'm happy to pass those along.
Good. So, Larry's gonna be there, who else?
I'll be there for the walk.
this year it's sort of, things are crowding in, so I couldn't say, but another year it might be good if we had 2 or 3 people doing, so Larry's over here, Susie's over there, and John's over here, and then as the, so there's different voices and different,
Yeah. And I'm willing to share, so it's
yeah.
it's not a monopoly.
It is a lot of talking though. I remember like when Bob was doing it, it was like, it's a lot of talking. So it would be nice to kind of have one other person like to split it up. And not, I mean, this time you can do it all.
proceed as usual then. So the, number 2, the awards ceremony is at Chautauqua Community House. I'll go up, I always help set up and take along some refreshments courtesy of the Historical Commission, and at the 5:30 area. And then the refreshments are 6 to 6:30, the program starts at 6:30. So if you want to be there for some snacks, hors d'oeuvres, no alcoholic beverages, sadly.
So this is the awards that it's like called this long name. It's not just the square name. You're getting the square name. Okay, and this is
Yeah.
the name of it. Okay.
Mary and I are going to do the talk for Larry and bring him up to get his award. So we will be doing that. Just one other minor note here, and I'm sure nothing is going to change on this, but I got an email from Catherine Barth the other day, and she was distressed that this was the same day as the Dana Crawford Awards in Denver, for which Estella Cole is getting an award, and she was wondering who was head of the Boulder Heritage Roundtable, and could they possibly change the date? Okay, I tried to squelch that because this is, for as long as Wally and I can remember, this has always been the second Monday in May. So the fact that there's a conflict is not the Heritage Roundtable's problem, I don't think. At any rate, we tried to squelch that, but as the last word I got from Catherine was she was going to try to talk to Wendy Hall, which I don't think is a good idea, but at any rate, that's my opinion.
She'll get the same answer from Wendy too. So.
I hope so, yeah. So anyway,
it's set,
as far as we know, this is definitely the date and the time. I don't think that will change.
It will not, yeah, because that came up yesterday in the meeting too, so.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
do we buy tickets?
No, it's just.
You just go?
Yeah, just
Okay.
show up.
Okay.
And the hardest part of it is finding a place to park, of course, in Chautauqua, so. That's another reason to go a little early, maybe. So I go help set up so I can at least get a parking place. But, yeah, so, yeah, and Estella, yeah, this is the, Coastal Colorado Preservation, Inc. Program down in Denver. Organization is honoring Estella Cole, who helped us and many other organizations with historic preservation. And she usually comes to the roundtable event as well, but, yeah, it's just, unfortunately, it's just the way cards fell.
Yeah, it just came out that way this year.
And does the town staff, does everyone know that he's getting an award?
It was, yeah, emailed out, yeah.
Good, good.
What was that down
Nothing.
Secret.
It's just a big deal, and I want to make sure that a lot of people are there to support you.
Thank you. Frequently, there's no roundtable meeting a month.
That's what I was thinking, but I put it on here just in case, so, okay.
Especially since only 3 days later.
But probably it is not,
I doubt,
okay?
yeah. Oh, I was gonna try to get some, better numbers to all of you about the, cost of the diorama. And now I can't find my numbers. And, I know where to do it. Well, maybe I'll do that next month.
While you're looking, I was there with Larry at the very beginning of the museum opening last month, and Wally, you were there too. I was just talking about, and maybe Mary, you guys all talked about this, but there's so much open space on that diorama that we need to fill. You know, like the walls are just, it's like this little thing, you know, I mean, there's like all this space. So
You need to know, Ellen is working on a geological layout to the right of the mine shaft.
Okay,
She
cool.
pictured
Good.
The geologic layers. And
Great.
she's in consultation
And it's going to do something there. So,
Okay.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Right, and even that left side, I said we could have some type of info.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, it's so neat, but it's very blah in the middle, you know, so that's
Yeah, so
great.
Katie was thinking about having brochures attached to it and that sort of thing, and then, again, Alan's, did you say she is working on it now?
Oh, I think next to the mine shaft.
Yeah.
She's working on geologic
Oh, yeah,
layers and
yeah, like
presentations.
how coal developed,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, your idea's right on, and I remember us talking about that, and Alan's doing her usual bang-up job on labeling, and so she's gonna be working on adding to that, and that'll help fill that space, but yeah, it's.
Because you're right, it's sort of a slap in the face, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't find what I'm looking for, so I think rather than confusing matters, I'll just wait. You covered it in an email or something like that, so you know what the cost was. The fellow from Broomfield, who's involved with the scout troop over there, contacted me about opening up the cemetery and having the Boy Scout troop visit the cemetery. So right now that's penciled in for April 27th. Should be next week. Is that possible?
Monday?
That can't be right, can it? That's Monday.
April 22nd is Monday.
27th.
Oh, 7th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So I think that's a Saturday. Is that a Saturday?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Just leave for tomorrow then.
So, yeah, the Arbor Day event is that day.
Okay. So I can schedule it for a different time, or when's Arbor Day, is that?
It's that Saturday, the 27th,
At what
from
time?
10 to noon.
Okay, so, I'll get back with him and schedule, if anybody wants to go along with me, I guess is what I'm saying, it'd be welcome to. We haven't set a time of the day yet.
Just another thing, just to drop in our thinking, because we do scratch for members, and I've heard people say, oh, they need it during the day, and it knocks out people who are working.
Mhm.
So we might want to think about having evening meetings. Anyway, just to drop that in for thinking, nothing needs to be discussed right now, I don't think.
Well, we did that some years ago and tried it, and I think we had actually lower turnout, but,
Right, that was before we came, so, yeah.
So it doesn't mean it shouldn't try it again. Yeah, so Mary's dropped that idea, so I dropped it in on us, that is not fumbled it or something. And so think about that and come back and revisit that for sure.
And whoever takes notes on the next agenda thing, can we add the Youth Leadership Council as a agenda item to talk about that?
Did you catch all that? I think we can do that, yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Katie's suggesting that for the next agenda should include the youth leadership.
Oh, thank
Put
you.
that on the agenda.
I'm sorry, I was concentrating on something else here.
No problem. No problem.
I'm gonna creep away, thank you.
Well, any other new business? Want to make a motion on your way out, Mary?
I move
You
the
have to
meeting
sit to
adjourned.
Second. Okay, there's a second, so I think we consider ourselves adjourned, and thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Larry, especially sitting us into having moved and all that.
Any offers on your house?